High school sports, we've got it covered. Overtime starts now.
Hello and welcome to Overtime, the show for those of us who love high school basketball. I'm Regan Holgate.
And I'm Scott Leber. We do love high school basketball here, and we are ready to dish out some more great highlights. We'll see a milestone moment for one local basketball player, and we'll be joined by Guilford boys coach Chris Dixon to discuss a hotly contested NIC-10 race.
I'll bring you our spotlight story on 3 Belvedere North basketball players whose all-out effort extends beyond the court and into the classroom. But we begin with the boys' NIC-10 race.
Guilford, Auburn, Boylan, and East, they're keeping the pressure on each other. Auburn picked up a large win Wednesday night at East. The Knights had another big game at home tonight against Boylan. The A team was bringing its A game from the rafters. The Knights led by 4 at halftime. Then they had a huge third quarter here. Rock Cheney gets himself 3. Amir Danforth going to grab a loose ball underneath the bucket and lays it in. Auburn outscored Boylan 17-4 in the third quarter. Mark Harris will get a much-needed hoop off the drive here for Boylan. But the Knights and Cheney kept dropping shots in the bucket. Cheney feeling just a little bit hot there in the third quarter. Jamar Johnson next spins, gets a tough basket. He scored 11 points. Adrian Agee going to drive, and he'll scores. The Knights led by as many as 20 points. Danforth then drives and scores. He had 15 points. Brennan Horton-Lee tells him, that's the way to do it, freshman. That's the way to do it. He's special. Horton-Lee got his points too, 17 in all. The A-team loving that, and they would love this next highlight too. Horton-Lee down the lane, scores again. The Knights won 74-65, so in the span of 3 days, they knock off East and now Boylan.
We feel real good. We know we had to get our comeback win. They had us at their place, so this feel real good. We defended it well, so we're very proud about this one. You know, we tied in the league second, so we had to get them.
Yeah, we got a lot of momentum. It's definitely been a huge week of basketball for us, having East, having Boylan, and then Glenbrook South tomorrow. It's been a real big week of basketball.
At Hononegah, the Indians hosted the Freeport Pretzels. This one was pretty back and forth in the beginning. No good there for the Pretzels, but Elijah Richmond has the putback and the foul too. Then Kalel Sims will drive into the lane here. He goes the distance for another Pretzel bucket. Freeport was leading at this point in the second quarter. They'll find the big man, Jalen Dewey, inside. He gets the one-hander to fall and the foul. But Hano kicks things into gear. Isaiah Huey pulls up and makes that a triple. Now the deep ball to Darian Tholen, who's there for the wide-open layup. In less than 2 seconds left on the clock, Cole Warren chucks it up there, and my goodness, it goes in. That ends the first half with Hano up by 5. Hononegah would go on to win 77-63. Let's take you to Jefferson next, where the Jayhawks hosted the East E-Raps.
Taylor Castro had that game covered for us. She joins us with the story. Hi, Taylor.
Hi guys, the E-Raps had a heartbreaking loss to Auburn on Wednesday that snapped their 7-game conference winning streak. Tonight, they needed to regroup while the Jayhawks were motivated to be spoilers. Now let me tell you, this was some great Friday night entertainment. Both of these teams put on a show. The Jayhawks would get it started on fire from 3, Xavier Marufo in the corner. Splash. Shortly after, Josiah Williams will hit a 3 from the other corner. And the E-Raps had to show off their moves too. Matthew Horde with a beautiful mid-range jumper just makes it look so easy. And this was a pretty scrappy game. Both teams showing off their size, especially Randy Johnson. He'll get the basket and 3 East defenders on him. Then again, Nick James finds Johnson. 2 more points for him. Now remember when I said they put on a show? Take a look at this. Horde finds Carl Harris for the dunk. And then it'll be Horde to put the exclamation point on the win just a few seconds later. This was a close one, but as time wound down, the E-Raps ran away with it. East beats Jefferson 74-56. The E-Raps swept this season series from the Jayhawks. They also won their game back in early December. Reagan and Scott.
Thanks, Taylor. Let's continue on with another NIC-10 game.
Conference leader Guilford put its 10-2 record on the line against Harlem. This game was at Guilford. Now, the Huskies are a dangerous team. They're over the 500 mark in conference play and came in on a 4-game winning streak. Early action in this one, Malachi Johnson will connect for a 3-pointer for the G-Bikes. Makai Doby next gets fed in the lane, and watch him just muscle this one up and in. Check out this next drive in reverse by Dane Daling. This is sweet. He is in the conversation for all conference honors, no doubt. DeAndre Young looking for some points, but he gets blocked there by Doby. Doby doing it at both ends. Caden Klein now going to step behind the arc and fire in three. But Johnson counters with another three from Guilford, same spot as earlier. And then Jaden Webster right in front of us will connect from the corner as Guilford went on a run here. Well, but the Huskies kept on battling. It's Klein streaking in for another lay-in. Then DeAndre Young going to can a three-pointer. But the Vikings eventually pulled away in this one. Guilford beats Harlem 66-43. And Belvedere and Belvedere North had tonight off. They're going to play tomorrow night at Belvedere.
Let's get you caught up on the Nick 10 standings now. It's still Guilford leading the way now at 11-2. Auburn is only half a game back at 10-2. BOYLAN is in third place at 9-3, and East is next at 9-4. Harlem is in fifth at 6-6. We have plenty more highlights to bring you from the boys and girls tonight. Plus, we'll look back at that great game last night between Lutheran and Rockford Christian.
But up next, we're going to spend a few minutes with Guilford boys head coach Chris DIXON to talk about Vikings basketball and this incredible Nick 10 race.
It's a mad scramble right now for the Nick 10 Boys Championship. As we saw a moment ago, Guilford is currently leading and they have a half-game slim lead, but Auburn, BOYLAN, and East are all waiting for their chance to pounce.
Yeah, I sat down this week with Guilford head coach Chris DIXON to discuss this conference race and his team. You guys are right in the thick of a heated Nick 10 race right now. Four of you teams pretty much neck and neck. What's it like to be in that position with such an intense battle going on for the top?
You know, it's a lot of fun. To be honest with you, it's tough, competitive, very competitive, but it's a lot of fun. We wouldn't have it no other way, you know, being that we fought our way to get back to the upper echelon of this conference, and looking forward to the race going forward from here.
Does it help a lot with the kids' focus because they know they can't let up at all?
Yes, I think it helps with us knowing that every game's every night. You could be in first or you could be in third or fourth. So with everybody log jammed at the top, you know, one loss could almost put you in a situation where you can't win it at all.
The last time a Guilford boys team won a Nick 10 championship in basketball was the 99-2000 season, and Aaron Robinson was leading the way. If the folks remember Little A, he was dynamite. That was well before any of these guys on this year's team were even born. Are your guys aware of how long it's been, and do you guys talk much about breaking the drought?
Yes, we do. It was yesterday. We were in the after we played Honolulu, someone asked one of the coaches about it. It's like, when was the last time they had won a regional? And they said the date, and one of the kids said, that was the year I was born. Another kid said, that was the same year I was born. So we looked around the room, and the majority of our team was born the year that the last year Guilford won the regional. So that was big for us, you know.
And the conference has been even longer than that.
Yes, it's been longer than that. So it's almost to a point to where, you know, building character, building that competitive style back over here for something that they've never known. So it's like, you know, it's not like they have the rich tradition right here still around. It's a big gap between when Guilford was very, very competitive to, you know, back to where it is now. You know, so we try to build that, and I tell those kids that came here, I said, you know, you guys are beginning a legacy. So if you continue to drive on building that legacy, you know, you'll be able to come back, you know, like Fletcher, like Rucker and those guys, and come back and say, you know, we were a part of a program and built something solid at Guilford.
I say teams have to learn how to win. Like even in the NBA, teams might have to get bumped out of the playoffs in the first or second round a couple of years before they realize what it takes to get over the hump. Do you feel like this group has gotten over the hump and realizes what it takes to win big games?
I feel like we're getting there. I feel like we're much further than what we were a year or two ago. My first year here, which I had the blessing of starting in the COVID year. It was a blessing in disguise, so to speak, because the kids, some of my kids grew up that year. They were really young by the COVID year, and we got tested a lot. I said, but then last year we had some really tough nail biters. I mean, we lost to Auburn by 1, last second shot. You know, we lost to, I think it was, we lost to East by 3. So it was those games that we couldn't pull out, you know, and I would tell those guys, I said, those games build character. And the fortunate part for us is we brought most of those kids back because we were so young. So all those kids remember those close losses and what it takes to win those games.
Coming into this season, I think everybody knew what you had in Makai Doby and Malachi Johnson and Marquez Jordan and Cinco Gary. But now you got Jaden Webster, a couple sophomores, Jaden Webster and Connor Doyle, who are really seem to be blossoming. What has their development meant to this team?
Oh, it's been tremendous. They came in this summer and really went to work, hard in the weight room. I made with, our varsity kids that was already there, made them earn it, and that's the one thing we thrive on at Guilford is you have to earn it. Nobody's going to give you anything. And they came in this summer and they earned it, and even when they touch the floor now, that it's not like we look at it now, we're not looking at sophomores anymore. And they've really made a tremendous role players. I mean, they've made us be really good on the bench, because one thing about it is you have your starting five and you have those guys that people come out to see, but to be able to be a little bit deeper helps us out a lot.
Well, the Vikings program has come a long way in the last couple of years. This will be only their third winning season in 17 years, and most likely their first 20-win season since 2006-07.
And the future looks bright because most of their key players are sophomores and juniors. All right, coming up shortly, our spotlight story on a Belvedere North trio that cracks the books when they aren't busy hustling on the court, but we're back to the highlights next.
We have girls action from BYRON, BOYLAN, and HARLEM, and it was a special night in South Beloit for one key Sobo. The rivalry in boys basketball between Rockford Christian and Rockford Lutheran is always special. Thursday night, it reached a new level.
It did. These are two of the best 2A teams in the state, both stacked with talent. This one is worth another look. A full house was on hand at Rockford Christian, maybe the largest in the history of the school. Some folks even had to be turned away at the door. Lutheran jumping out to an early lead. Blake Brogy steals the inbound, pivots, and sinks the three. Here he comes again, opposite side, and that's three more. Royal Lions on the break here. Look at these moves from Elijah Doherty. He banks in the reverse. RC keeping things fast per usual. A kick to Kavion Cummings from the corner and swoosh. But Lutheran still had the edge, and so did Walt Hill Jr. Beautiful move there. The Crusaders led by 12 at the half. In the third quarter, they increased it to 15 after another quick lay-in from Hill. But never count out the Royal Lions and Christian Cummings. Quick step back three there. It's Lutheran in transition now. Great read here from Hill to find Brogy down court for an easy bucket. The crowd was electric. So was Kavion Cummings. He spins and scores. Now into the fourth. Isaiah Johnson's guys stepped up. Kavion Cummings again from deep. It definitely felt like we were on a roller coaster with this one. It's Kavion Cummings once more, coolly picking through this defense for a hoop and the lead. Now to put an exclamation point on this one, Kenai Holmes from downtown, and it's good. Rockford Christian won 76-70. The Royal Lions get the Crosstown Showdown trophy. The rematch will be played at Lutheran on Valentine's night, February 14th.
Well, the Crusaders didn't have long to dwell on that game. They were right back at it tonight at home against Lyle Sr. Brothers Andrew and Luke Weber coaching on opposite sides tonight. Andrew, the head coach for Lyle. Luke's an assistant at Lutheran. All right, Pamela Fair goes Luke's way as Vontez Dent drains a three to start the half. Crusaders again break out to Walter Hill Jr., who goes up and in for two. The Lions trying to get back at it. Casey Rosenberg going to drop it in for three. Lyle once again, Jude Peters stops at the arc. He's going to drill that one. But the Lions were just no match for the Satyrs tonight. Blake Brogy over to Vontez Dent. How about him showing the range tonight with those threes? Brogy again going to take it himself this time to the hoop. He gets fouled and it drops and one. And Brogy again from Brogy land or three-point land. It's another one. Lutheran dominated Lyle Sr. 77-43. Well, in South Beloit, this figured to be a night to remember. A milestone moment in the remarkable career of the young but very talented Ross Robertson. Robertson and the Sobos hosted Schaumburg Christian. The Sobos were just looking to feed Robertson, and that's what they do here. He muscles one up there for two, and here he goes again. Same drill. With that height, there's just no defending him. Jared Schober will get in on the scoring fun here, two from deep. But let's just find the big man and let him drive. It just works like a charm for the Sobos. Lawrence Koska takes a shot for the triple, and he knocks it down. But this next one for Robertson was special. He had to fight for it.
but he gets the and one too. That's 1,000 points for the sophomore and a very fitting way to grab it. He becomes the youngest Sobo to achieve that mark. His parents were in the house repping some pretty awesome t-shirts, and the rest of his fan club was pretty stoked about this one tonight. South Beloit beat Schaumburg Christian 66-20. Congrats to Ross. What an achievement.
Yes, indeed. Let's move on now to girls basketball. The BYRON Lady Tigers coming off a big win over DIXON this week, hosted Rockford Christian. Lucy Gargani here going to go coast to coast all by herself for the easy layup for the Royal Lions. BYRON's half-court press defense coming into play here with a steal by Carson Belskis to Ava Kolchin, who will finish. Inbound play now. Cassidy Proper to Emma Joyner. That works. Boy, did that work. Fast break, though, now for the Lady Tigers. Macy Groherring can run the break as well as anybody. She finds Kolchin. Kolchin banks it in. Emma Joyner next. Off to Courtney Park, who fires the three ball and cans it for Rockford Christian. Lady Tigers defense doing well here. Groherring gets the steal, and she'll take it in all by herself. BYRON rolls on to a 59-41 final victory.
Here's a really good Nick 10 girls matchup. Guilford against Harlem. First quarter, Harlem's Paige Stovall off the pass, drains a three there to get the Huskies on the board first. It's Guilford's side of the court now. Missed free throw, but Lindsay Knuth gets the rebound and fights for two. Huskies with a nice dump inside to Nikki Harrison here, who gets the one-handed lay-in. Kind of a weird play here now. It's Taj Hansard to Avery Green. She has it stolen, but she gets it back. Now it's inside to Hansard again. She spins, kicks it back to Janelle Coleman, and she finally gets it to fall. Now back to Harlem. Ball falls loose. It finds Paige Stovall, though, and she just casually picks it up and gets the three-pointer to fall. Harlem beat Guilford 51-37.
At Boylan, the Lady Titans hosted the Auburn Lady Knights. Kaylee Harder with the basketball. She's looking for Lily Esparza. That's what I do. Esparza's double team, but she still scores. She had 18 points. Olivia Brown puts the ball on the floor, drives and scores for Auburn. Brown again, this time from the corner, nails it. She's an up-and-comer. Great talent. Senior night now, and the senior Maggie Schmidt will sink the jumper, and that is cause for celebration. That's the way it's done, seniors. Celebrating on the floor and up in the stands. Elena Patalber is open for three, and she gets three. And two more for the Titans coming up as Esparza will feed Schmidt. Nice assist. Schmidt the bucket. Boylan won 68-36. The Lady Titans are 22-4. Well, that does it for the highlights, but don't go away. Our Spotlight segment is next.
We'll meet Belvedere North's dual threat players, three guys who get it done on the court and in the classroom. Hit the books or hit the court? Some kids might struggle to answer that one, but a trio of seniors at Belvedere North have shown what's possible beyond the arc, specifically how to also be champions in the classroom.
It's just really cool. Kids put in the time on the court with their activities and then also off the court.
It's rare you get both.
Being a student athlete isn't easy, but it's definitely possible, and as long as you stay on top of your work, I mean, you can focus on both.
But the Belvedere North boys basketball program has three senior athletes who've found a way to do it all.
Super excited for these guys. They deserve, you know, all that recognition because they put in a lot of work.
Ethan Andre, Nick Winters, and Spencer Coles got a bit of an early Christmas present this year.
There weren't that many in the school that got it, so I thought it was pretty cool to be called down and receive that little paper.
It means a lot. I mean, it takes a lot of hard work and effort put into the classroom. Definitely that comes first before everything.
They were named Illinois State Scholars, which means they're in the top 10% of the state academically, all with 4.0 GPAs.
I really pride myself on academics, so just try to get smarter every day. Just try to be like a lifelong learner.
And not only have these three done it, last year the team received the title of All-State Academic Team from the Illinois Basketball Coaches Association.
It's incredible. I mean, I don't want to jinx myself, but very rarely do we have to worry about academic eligibility, you know, on a weekly basis.
I just think it's really cool that we can do both sports and school and excel at both.
Not only do they excel at both, but they're leaders in both respects, which is something pretty special.
It's definitely pretty important to the three seniors that have it.
It's really cool to not really be looked up to, but like to be the guy, like a role model almost, and just to be there to, you know, show underclassmen that you can do anything.
But of course, it doesn't come without its fun, especially for three guys like this who spend so much time together.
Yeah. we mess with each other a lot, yeah.
We're thinking about coining these three the Brainiacs of Belvedere North. Still working on the name, though.
You know, Spencer's the one who, he's the genius out of us. He's got the real smarts. I don't even know. He's really smart.
Nick said you're the smartest out of the three.
Yeah, I guess I'd agree with that.
All jokes aside, these are three of Belvedere North's smartest and most hardworking kids. They continue to show those who come through the program what is possible beyond the basketball court. And Coach Brannon is just happy to be along for the ride.
You know, it's really cool to be a small part of that. But I'm so happy for these guys. They deserve the recognition. It's not easy to get the grades that they've gotten, and they're kind of getting those benefits and those rewards right now.
What do you think about the Brainiacs of Belvedere North? I think it has a nice ring to it, really rolls off the tongue.
It's a little catchy. I like it. I'm all for supporting kids who have that drive like these three guys do in the classroom.
We'll be right back.
Join us every Friday night at this time on Fox 39 for Overtime. We also rebroadcast the show Saturdays at 11 o'clock.
And remember, you can find highlights and scores anytime by going to mystateline.com. That will do it for this show.
Have a good weekend.